Welcome, welcome. Your timing is good. Come on in. Hello. Okay, that looks like 3 o'clock to me. I'd better start, hey. So my name's Emily. You've probably worked that out. And I'd like to begin by acknowledging and paying my deep respect to the traditional owners and custodians of this land. I can't express how deeply I feel that. I would like to also express my deep gratitude to Mona for having me here. It's pretty bloody amazing, really, in terms of the opportunity that this is. I just can't believe I get to do it. So I'm just going to start with just a bit of, I don't know, I'm just going to make something up just to kind of tell you the story of why I'm here and what it's all about, right? Because as you can see, I've got a harp. That's fairly obvious. I have also got some other gear. But most notably, I also have a bed, which seems a little bit strange because it is very strange. And the reason that I have a bed is because I'm sleeping here and I'm living here at Mona for 6 weeks. And why, you might ask? That's the fairly common question. Why would you want to do this? Well, it was actually my idea. So I've done residencies before here in this space with my harp, with the idea being, thank you, with the idea being that I compose new music every day. And last time I was here, I wanted to compose 2 new pieces every day and then present them in a concert at 3 o'clock, which is nice. It was good. I really enjoyed it. I got a lot out of it. But then I was invited back, which is really nice. And I accepted, and we decided, yep, 6 weeks is good because that's about as long as I can manage away from my family, you know, logistical reasons. But then I just had this niggling idea that maybe it would be cool to sleep here because I'm really comfortable in this space. I've spent a lot of time here. You know, it's well known to me. And key piece of information is I have a pretty big and interruptive behavioural sleep disorder. So I sleepwalk, I sleep talk, but most of all, it's just all horrible, like nightmares, terrors, and it's more real than real. I mean, I could go on for ages about what that's like, but it's probably boring for anybody else. But for me, it's a really big deal, and it really impacts my life, and I'd really like to change it. I'd like to somehow get some control of my dreams and turn them into not such a horrible thing. So I thought, well, wouldn't it be cool to come here and just really understand better what it's about by recording it and being able to watch what I do and then using it along with my dream content and my just general feelings and processing of the situation to inform my creativity and what I make while I'm here. So that's what it is. So I'm here for 6 weeks, 4 nights a week, and then I get a break. I get to go home in between because the museum isn't open on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. No point being here when there's nobody else here. So that's basically it. And today's day 4. So I've travelled quite a journey over the last 4 days. I was full of bravado when I came here. I thought it was going to be easy. I thought I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm in for. I'm going to knock it out of the park. It's going to be awesome. But then I got here on Thursday night, and by the time I set everything up, well, actually in the afternoon I set everything up, and then I went out for dinner in the evening. But then I had to come back alone into the museum, walking through the galleries and into this space. And this space does not have much light at all at night. So everything pretty much gets turned off. And I feel good in this little space, but it turns out as the weekend went on, I really have a problem with the dark. To the point where I have been so filled with a heightened state of anxiety and terror at night. I walk in here, and the trouble is I have to walk this passage in the dark every time I want to go to the bathroom because the toilet's out there to the right. So this little space feels nice and safe and comfortable, but I've got to walk through this dark tunnel. past the House of Hair around the corner that has a single light in it at night, while everything else is turned off. It's freaking terrifying. It's so creepy. Just being here alone is creepy. And rationally, I know I'm safe, I know I'm fine. But there is just part of my brain that just gets carried away with stories of just how unsafe I feel, and it's just not okay. So, that's pretty much where we're at. But I've made some revelations. But I'll talk about them maybe more in a minute. I want to sing a song or play a song for you that I wrote yesterday, and it's about that very thing I was just talking with you about, travelling through this dark tunnel and how it feels, and just exploring that as a theme. So let's do that now. I'm calling it Walking in the Darkness. If anybody's got any questions as we go, wait till an appropriate time and you can ask the question, because I like fielding questions and I'm curious to know what your questions are.
Conscious of the spaces aware of every sound.
All right. Oh, thank you. Thanks. Cheers. Thanks. Yeah, so that was all about this process of walking through this very, very, very creepy place and tunnel and just feeling such discomfort with the dark. I had no idea that it would feel so challenging to me. So after 3 nights of being here and really sort of sitting in that discomfort, as well as other discomforts, I found initially the live stream, like live streaming me sleeping and live streaming me working, felt really, really uncomfortable, really wrong. I'll talk about that more in a minute. It's now starting to feel a little bit more supportive. But yeah, along with that and just being here alone and just, it's vulnerable making new stuff in front of people, just in and of itself. But I decided last night, I had a few too many wines at Faro for dinner, which was great. Had dinner with some friends. And as I came in, you know, more than a little bit tipsy, I still felt completely terrified. And for me, that kind of told me something that perhaps actually I need to make some changes because it's actually just too much. I found a limit. And I think it's valuable to recognise that, or for me, as part of this process, I found that quite enlightening to recognise, okay, this is actually too much for me, I need to make a change. So I sent a message to the lighting guy last night while I'm drunk, and I said, hey, Matt, I think I just want to talk to you about just turning on a couple more lights in this gallery. This is called the Sex and Death Gallery, as you may or may not be aware. It's full of some pretty challenging art. I do struggle with some of the pieces that are in here, particularly on the other side. And I needed a bit more light. And he responded and he said, yep. Because part of me was thinking, oh, you know, I don't want to fail at this. You know, I wanted it to be challenging. I wanted it to be hard. But I think there's enough challenge and I can't relax into the process with this degree of terror sitting with me. So, yeah, I sent the message and he said, yes, we'll talk in the morning. And the sense of relief that I felt was really palpable. And I just, you know, there's been a couple of times over these 4 days where I've felt a really real sense of relief that's been quite profound. The first time was when the lights came on in the morning, on the first morning that I woke up here. I'd been awake since 4, and when they came on, it was like a physical jolt. I've never felt relief like that before, and it was just so, like, you know, strong. So yeah, it's interesting, all of the things that I'm learning and feeling. And the project is becoming more about process and less about creative output. The output isn't as meaningful. It's more about the stuff that I'm learning as I go, I think. Yeah. So does anybody have any questions at this point about any of it? Who influences my music? Oh, well, that's a really good question. So I'm influenced by lots of musicians. I mean, I've kind of ended up here by accident, to be honest. So I had another career before I started playing harp. I've come to this, I started playing when I was 27. And before that, I was working, and I still work as an occupational therapist. So that's sort of my background. I've always just loved a whole range of different music. When I was younger, I was really inspired by Celtic music. Always really loved that, and I suppose that's probably what drew me to being interested in the harp. But yeah, just a whole range of stuff, you know. Yeah, like when I was younger, I listened to a lot of... I loved listening to Triple J and just different musicians there and whatever. And I don't know, I guess as I get older, I really love like ambient music. I'm a huge fan of Nils Frahm and other musicians in that genre. I really enjoy like repetitive, meditative things that I can just go away, you know, leave my mind and just let go. That's sort of the stuff that inspires me the most, I guess. I don't really follow that many other harpists. The harp is just kind of my vessel for the music. So yeah, it's kind of nice for me that I've come to it in a really non-traditional way. I don't really know the rules of it. I haven't had a lot of I've had a bit of tuition here and there, but I haven't followed a strict and disciplined pathway of classical harp. So I don't have that background, although I did with violin and musical theory when I was younger. But I don't play the violin much now. It's a great instrument, but it doesn't really move me. I'm not inspired by it. But I'm kind of forcing myself to play it a bit more while I'm here, which is good. Yeah, so I don't know, just influenced by heaps of different things. For me, music's all about mood. It's about either supporting the mood I'm in or using it to help change a mood or just to sit in an emotion. I think it's so closely related to memory and experience, and so I use it for that. So that's probably my biggest inspiration, I guess, is just my mood and what I feel like doing. Yeah. I'm just really a selfish musician. It's very self-serving for me. Yeah. But yeah, there's a question. Is that a question? What, as in what the harp sounds like? Yeah, well, I can. Yeah, I will play. I mean, you're going to hear it as we go. Like, it is what it is. Like, the sound that you heard before. I mean, I guess there's a lot of vocals in that song that I did already. So you will hear more as we go, for sure. I mean, look, I do it. Okay, so what people expect to hear from the harp, I guess, is more traditional stuff. This instrument is very steeped in a stereotype, really. Like, people look at it and they expect, heavenly cascades and angelic loveliness. And that's all very beautiful and it has a place. I would fully respect that. And there's some incredible repertoire that's been written for harp that's really virtuosic and very technical to play. It's a complicated instrument. There's a lot going on. There's pedals down here that you use with your feet. And it adjusts the pitch of the strings. So every string has 3 different notes that it can be. But what I will play, and maybe this shows you more of like what led me to be playing this harp and discovering the instrument through music that I love, talking about what inspires me. When I was young, I loved Radiohead, huge Radiohead fan. I used to put OK Computer on repeat to go to sleep when I was 17, 18. And what led me to discover the harp as in the way that I do now, and what led me to do a lot of work for Mona and change my creative direction that's now got me doing all this original stuff and, exploring, was playing covers. So that's kind of unusual for the instrument. People don't expect it. And it's kind of what I do as my bread and butter work. When I'm playing at weddings or functions, I play a lot of covers. I'm consciously not really playing many here at all, but to appease the man in the audience, I'm going to play this song so that you can hear the harp and the voice together in a more my own version of what the harp sounds like. Does that make sense? Without heaps of effects and stuff. And without loops. What? Let's get it. And I feel like this is actually quite an appropriate song, because part of this experience, and particularly with the live stream and just in life in general, is I've been experiencing a few creeps lately. And it's freaking uncomfortable. It's really uncomfortable. There's a particular person that I've received a couple of messages from on Instagram, and I've blocked him because he's made me feel really uncomfortable with objectifying me, and I don't like it. It's not cool. And it's really hard online to get people to stop doing that, and especially with live streaming my sleep, I don't know who's watching and why they're watching, and that definitely makes me feel really uncomfortable. Anyway, so in light of that, and to demonstrate what the harp sounds like, here is Creep by Radiohead. You were here before. I couldn't look you in the eye. You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. You float like a fan in a beautiful world. So very special. I wish I was special, but I'm a creep. I'm a widow. What the hell am I doing? Hey, I don't belong here. I don't care if it hurts. I wanna have control. I want a perfect body. I want a perfect soul. I want you to notice when I'm not around. You're so very special. I wish I was special, but I'm a creep. I'm a widow. What the hell am I doing? Hey, I don't belong here. Oh, she's running out the door. She's running, run, 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 whatever makes you happy, whatever you want, is so very special. I wish I was special, but I'm a creep. I'm a widow. What the hell am I doing? Hey, I don't belong here. I don't belong here. Thanks. Just for those who've just walked in, I just made an exception and played a cover, which I've really consciously been not doing here, but on my own terms I decided to do it for a couple of reasons. But the question was, what does the harp sound like normally? Like, what's the harp sound? And so hopefully that demonstrated that. And also it was just an ode to the people who've been making me feel creeped out, because there's been a few online people and a few people in the museum too who've... Sorry? Oh no, it's not directed at... I can't even see who's out there. You're all dark. Yeah, it's not directed at anybody in particular, but yeah, just the discomfort of that. So, yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. So, what to share next? Has anybody got any questions at this point in time? Very happy to field anything. No? I hope you've all had a great day at Mona. It's been a funny day for me today. I actually had a heckler today for the first time, which was, it really put me off my guard. I wasn't expecting it. I was having a bit of a reflection moment to the live stream audience, and consequently for the people who were here. And a lady came in, and I think she wasn't enjoying the museum. That's my interpretation of what happened. But I had my rope bollard up here, and I was just chatting, and she came up and she just kind of yelled at me, and she's like, "Are you gonna play a tune?" Like, she yelled at me. It was so unpleasant. And, you know, I guess the thing about what I'm doing here, and so much about this museum, it's not, you know, you probably don't come here to expect what you'd normally expect from whatever you're looking at or experiencing. So I said no. And I was quite, like, affronted by it. But yeah, she wasn't very happy. But it was quite weird to have that happen. I haven't had that happen before. So another good opportunity for growth. Yeah, there's been a lot of those in here, and it's only been 4 days. I wonder what the next 5 weeks are going to bring. I can't wait to see. I really can't. You'll notice there's a lot of words up here on the wall, and it's really an opportunity for me to write down the things that I'm thinking, revelations that I've had. So there's a fair story behind everything that's there, but I'm hoping that by the end of the time it's going to be just full, and I look forward to seeing what that entails. Question. My favourite thing in the museum, I think my favourite thing is the Tunnel of Light by James Turrell. I've spent a lot of time in there. I often work in Faro restaurant with an ensemble of other musicians. We do an improvisational ensemble in there and have done for a few years in different ways. But yeah, we're constantly walking in and out of that tunnel, and I'm really inspired by all of the light installations here. They're my favourite part. But, you know, there's lots of things. There's other things that I really dislike. I think my other favourite thing is just the building. I love the building. I love the earth and the stone and the walls. That would be my other favourite piece of art. Yeah. What about you? Yeah? It's a lot, isn't it? Yep. It is a lot. Oh, just to say too, in that last song, I did the clean version just because I'm live streaming. Just so you are aware. If that wasn't on, it wouldn't have been like that. Yeah, I just needed to say that. I kind of wanted to interrupt the song to say it, but I thought it might ruin the mood, so I did not. Okay, I think I'd better share with you what I made today, because I did make something today. And it was inspired by, you know how I sang the song for you before about travelling this tunnel of darkness and how that was making me feel. And then I made the decision last night to ask to have a few more lights on for when I come back next week. They couldn't change it late at night last night, so the changes have been made and will be implemented. And I felt such a relief, and I was saying to you about that feeling of relief. And this song, I just started, mucking around with. It's really just a noodle. Most of my songs are just noodling on the harp that I then loop and have a nice time with. That's what they are. That's my practice. But this was my expression of just that feeling of relief and having a shift from this being like really just scary and feeling quite unmanageable to now I feel like I can look ahead to the next 5 weeks and welcome it and feel good about it. Like it's still going to be challenging, it's still going to be a lot. But yeah, just that quite emotional experience actually for me. So yeah, this is that. It doesn't have a name yet. Maybe you could share a thought with me afterwards. Hopefully I can remember how it goes. I save all of my sonic ideas on my loop station. I don't write anything down, like I don't notate my music. It's just, there's no point. I'd much rather have it as an audio. So I've got the idea saved in here. So I'll just find it and remind myself. Just want to say thanks for joining me, by the way. I really appreciate that you're here sharing this time and space. It means a great deal to me, actually. Yeah, thanks. Thank you. It has been a joy to play for you this afternoon. Thanks so much for being here. And yeah, please feel free to come and have a chat if you've got any questions or you want to know more about what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm obviously live streaming to YouTube if you feel like watching a live stream of a bed. It's not very exciting, but I may just sleepwalk, you never know. So we'll see what transpires. And yeah, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm sharing lots of little video snippets of what's been happening and how I'm feeling on my stories, and they're saved in other highlights in Room of Dreams. So you can check that out if you like. And yeah, there's going to be a live performance up in the Nolan at 4 p.m. If you are able to make that, it'd be pretty special. But thank you so much.